students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In this particular video, we are going to discuss in detail about chapter 2 of NCERT class 6 related to geography. So if you look at this particular NCERTs, you can see that the chapter refers about oceans and continents. As we know, our entire earth is covered either under ocean or continents. And as other chapters, this also belongs with a famous quote given by Jules Verne somewhere in 1870, a well-known author and writer. So he says that ocean is everything with reference to earth. It covers 710. That means 70% of our earth's surface is covered under ocean water. Of terrestrial growth, terrestrial means land, overall the entire earth we are talking about. Its breadth is pure and healthy. It is an immense desert. Why we are calling it desert? Because the entire ocean area is made up of nothing but water only, and that's why you have the uniform surface everywhere. You have this desert like kind of land, this desert like landscape as such, or waterscape we can say, where man is never lonely, for he feels life stirring all around. Ocean is a vast reservoir of nature. The globe began with the ocean, so to speak, and who knows if it will not end with it. So Jules Verne also has trying to make a prediction that maybe the life on the earth or the entire world might come to end. We can say with the entire earth covered with water only. So flood like situation is something that we can say he is talking about. Now in this particular chapter, from exam perspective, what is going to be discussed? So what are oceans and continents? Basic understanding about them. What are the names of the oceans and continents? Second, in what ways do oceans and continent impact life on earth, including human life? And the picture you can see from here is the picture that is a satellite image taken of the earth itself. We can say earth's photograph from the space itself. Lunar reconnaissance orbiter mission is what has taken the photograph of the earth. The view is centered in the Pacific Ocean with Africa. You can see this is Arabian Peninsula and this is your African landmass. Here you can see this is the India, this is your entire Asian landmasses as such, and this is the Indian Ocean. This part is what we can call as the Pacific Ocean, and Australia to the right. If you try to find this landmass is the Australia, and this permanently frozen piece of land is what we call as Antarctica. So this is what picture is talking about. Now let us return to globe and rotate it gently. That's what the mind exercise you have to do. Or look at the picture of Earth seen from the moon. What is the most widespread color you see? Now, interestingly, Earth is also referred as a blue planet. And the reason why it is called as blue planet, because it is the color of water that is reflecting the bluish light as such. So that's what we can see in the earlier image also. If you look, in majority of the part, we can see the dominant color is the blue color. That's because majority of our Earth is covered under water itself. However, if you take a look at the planet Earth, we also have brown color. Now, what is this brown color? Brown color covers little over 1/4 of the globe, about 25% of globe we can say. And this brown color represents the land masses. The land masses of the earth is what we call as the continents. While the water body that we have on the earth, the water surface on the earth is what we call as ocean. That's why we have classified the entire earth into two this parts, ocean part and the continental part. Both ocean and continent plays a vital role in shaping the climate of the earth, and overall we can say they affect all the aspects of your life, including all the organisms, including humans. And here interesting fact is mentioned in this chapter, in this particular table. Whatever facts are given in NCERT becomes very critical from exam perspective. So Sham no Varuna, that is the first motto you can see here. That is the motto of Indian Navy. It simply means be auspicious to us, O Varuna. Varun is the deity who is Vedic deity associated with the oceans and the sky, water in general. So because the Indian Navy personnel, Indian Navy ships spend most of their time in the water, that's why they are invoking the Varun deity and asking them to be auspicious, requesting them to be auspicious so they can continue doing their work without any hurdles. Now the next point we have to study about is the distribution of water and land on the earth. So as it happens, oceans and continents are not distributed equally between northern and southern hemisphere. Now you know that if you look at the earth like this, we have a dividing line. This dividing line is what we call as equator, passes through 0° latitude. And the northern part of this side is the northern hemisphere. To the south of equator lies the southern hemisphere. Here you will find northern pole, here you will find southern pole. So what we see, if you look at the image of this particular picture, this particular image of the earth, we can see that majority of the land masses are found in the northern hemisphere. You can see most of the continental land masses, Europe, Asia, Africa, North America, Greenland. So all of these are largely in the northern hemisphere, and in between them you'll find here and there the patches of blue ocean. If you look at the image of Earth from the perspective of South Pole, southern hemisphere, you can see the number or the amount or extent of land masses are very less. Majority of the surface is covered by ocean itself. So that's what we have to keep in mind by looking at this particular image. Now, ocean is the largest body. Apart from that, you also have a small water bodies such as sea. Sea is relatively a smaller water body that generally is around the continental landmass. Then you have the bay. Bay is the this kind of land masses, which is kind of inward growing. Inward basically you can say, and it is surrounded also by land from the three sides as such. And Gulf is relatively small body. Gulf is smaller than bay itself, and Gulf generally have a narrow inlet, and as you move toward the coast, the anterior becomes wider and wider. So this is the ocean, this is the inlet of Gulf, and this area is your Gulf, and this entire region is your continental land masses. So sea, bay and Gulf. Then if you talk about some of the questions that you should be able to answer by now is, which hemisphere holds more water? So as we have discussed, it is the southern hemisphere. What do you think could be the approximate proportion of water to land in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere? Discuss in groups. Are all the oceans connected with one another? The answer is yes. Yeah, oceans. Though we have divided oceans into multiple parts, all the oceans are kind of connected and joined with each other, and the water keeps flowing from one to other part. Now, a very interesting picture you will see here given is of the life in the ocean. As you remember in the beginning of the chapter, we have a quote by Jules Verne, and Jules Verne has stated that oceans are full of vitality, full of life. So what kind of life? Coral reef, very vibrant ecosystem. They cover roughly 1% of the oceanic area but support over 40% of marine biodiversity, marine life. And starfish, for example, you can see here, it is basically resting on the sea anemone, which is a type of plant. Then we have the blue whale, then we have the sharks, sperm whale, shark, you have shark here, sperm whale, mother and baby you can find, dolphins you will find here, plus large number of colorful tropical fish also is given, which generally are found in the tropical water. Apart from that, algae are the major source of food for many organisms that live in the ocean. Emperor penguins inhabit the southern part of the ocean around the Antarctican areas. And also you have a lot of different types of sea turtles. Bonad sea turtles species is what is represented here in the image. Now the ocean together, if you look at the statement given by NCERT, ocean together hold most of water available on the planet. Actually, 97% roughly of Earth's water is found in the ocean only. 3% of Earth's water is what you will find over the continental land masses. So majority of the Earth's water you will find within the ocean itself. Now, there are some thinking exercise also given. You can think about it. If there is such an abundance of water on the planet, why there is so much talk about water scarcity? That's because of this factor. Second, ocean water is say 97% of entire water, but the problem is it is saline water, salt water. You have a lot of salt in the ocean water. That means you cannot consume it directly. That's why it becomes useless from the human consumption perspective, human purposes perspective. That's why you have the water scarcity. Now some terms are mentioned here, you should be aware about it. So first term is marine. Marine means it is related to or found in the oceans and seas. For example, marine landscape, such landscape that are found in the ocean. Marine organisms, such organisms that live in the ocean. Marine flora, marine fauna. Similarly, you have flora. Flora basically refer to the plant life of particular region or period of time. So for example, you can talk about the flora of desert area, the flora of temperate forest, the flora of tropical forest, the flora of equatorial forest. Fauna is simply referring to the animal life of particular region or period of time. So for example, we have the fauna of the grasslands, fauna of the desert, fauna of the polar regions. So that's how we can understand these basic terms. Now some interesting fact is mentioned about the ocean. First of all, as you can see, entire ocean of the earth is divided into 5 oceans. These are the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic and the Southern Ocean. Sometimes Southern Oceans are also called as Antarctic Ocean. However, because only 5 oceans we have listed, it is clear from the map. Now which map? You can take a look at this particular map, you can see. So all the 5 oceans, this is the ocean number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we have divided and classified oceans into 5 different types. But can you see there is a kind of interlinkage between Atlantic and Pacific, water is flowing here. Similarly, Atlantic and Pacific both are connected to Southern Ocean. Southern Ocean is well connected to Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean is well connected to the Pacific Ocean. Pacific Ocean through the Bering Strait, later on we'll discuss about it, is connected to Arctic. Arctic is connected to Atlantic. So overall, what is the understanding we will have? If you look at this particular image itself, we can clearly see that we have classified oceans into 5 types, but they are not really separate. The lines that divide them on the maps are no more than conventions. It is kind of imaginary boundary we have drawn for our own purposes, our own understanding as such. And that's why when you talk about the marine life, for example, large animals such as blue whales, sperm whales, shark, they do not follow the limitation that I will only live in Atlantic Ocean or I will only live in the Pacific Ocean. They are free to move from one ocean to other ocean as such. So that's why they're found all across multiple oceans. They keep migrating. They keep moving from one region to other region. Marine flora. Flora we had discussed is the plant life, includes tiny plants. As we have seen in the earlier photograph, algae are most common plant that you find here, and various different type of seaweed you will find as well. Marine animal life, that is fauna, consists of thousands species of colorful fish, dolphins, whales, and countless mysterious deep sea creatures such as sea horses, crabs we can talk about. And each part of the ocean from the sunlit surface to dark depth has its own diverse landform. Then next, if you look at the map of India, we can see that this is India. From all sides, this side is surrounded by land. But from two sides in the south, it is opening toward the ocean. This is Indian Ocean, and the part of Indian Ocean on the west is Arabian Sea. The part of Indian Ocean in the east is called as Bay of Bengal. So returning to the picture of Earth at the start of this chapter, you may have noticed white shapes across the globe. Did you guess what they are? So white shape that you have looked in the first image is nothing but the clouds. And clouds are very vital for us because it is the clouds that are harbinger of rain. These are the clouds that bring rain to us on the continental land masses. For example, in India, you would have known or you would have heard that it is the monsoon that brings rain to the parched part of India after summer in the month of June, July, August. So monsoon winds, they originate over the ocean, they originate over Arabian Sea, they originate over Bay of Bengal and brings rainfall to us. So that's very, very important to understand. Ocean plays a very critical role in supplying rainwater, fresh water to us. At the same time, oceans are also associated with extreme weather phenomena, violent weather phenomena. These can be cyclones. So tropical cyclones develop in the ocean, temperate cyclones develop in the ocean, and these cyclones, though they develop over the ocean, they move toward the continental land masses. So if you talk about India in this case, many cyclones develop over Bay of Bengal and then they move toward India. So when they reach these coastal areas, the states such as Odisha, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, they cause heavy damage, colossal damage, widespread damage to the coastal region. Other disaster associated with this ocean is tsunami, a gigantic sea wave. Tsunami can be simply explained as gigantic sea wave that reaches the coastal areas. So very huge and powerful, is moving on traveling a speed of more than 300-400 kilometers per hour, that generally develops whenever you have a very strong earthquake or volcanic eruption in the ocean as such. That time, gigantic tsunami waves generated and then they travel toward the coast, and as they travel toward the coast, their height keeps on increasing. That's why if you are near the coast during tsunami, you will see gigantic sea wave of more than 30, 40, 50 meters in height striking the coastal areas. Now, as far as the tsunami is concerned, it is relatively rare in the Indian Ocean. The last tsunami that we witnessed was on 26th of December 2004, when India and the neighboring 13 countries in the Indian Ocean were struck by a powerful tsunami. Over 2 lakh people lost their life. Andaman Nicobar Island was one of the worst affected region in India, and many part of Tamil Nadu, Kerala coast were also severely affected. Now, such tsunamis are rare but very destructive in nature. But luckily, they can often be detected before they hit a coast. India, after 2004 tsunami, has developed its own early warning system. That means this system can alert people that tsunami is about to come. They should run as fast as possible to the relatively safer spot, which is nothing but high elevation areas. So many countries, it's not only that India is benefiting from it, the Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning System, to which many countries like India contribute, helps in saving a lot of lives. Even that lead to loss of life and property are under disaster management. Tsunami, cyclone, these are all examples of disaster. So in 2005, Government of India brought in a special organization, a specialized body called as NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, that deals with all kind of disasters in India. We'll see more example of this in the next chapter. So these are basic facts we can understand as far as the oceanic areas of Earth is concerned. Then we have the continental land masses. Continents are visible on the map of the oceans. As we have seen in the first image, if you remember, I showed you that Africa is located, can be seen, India can be seen, Australia can be seen in between the oceans of Indian and Pacific. Now the answer is not simple that how many continents we have on the land on the earth. It depends on how do you divide this continental land masses. For example, if you look at the map of North America, so this is North America, this is the central part of America, and to the south you have South America. So actually, if you look, this is one continent, North America, this is a continent, South America. But are they separated? The answer is no. Both of these land masses are joined together by a small, narrow landmass. That means if you want to consider this as a single landmass, entire continent we can call as American continent. So it depends on the perspective. Similarly, we can take example of Europe and Asia. We classify two continents, European continent, Asian continent. But again, there is no dividing line, right? Between Europe and Asia, there is no dividing line, like we can say the real line. Whatever dividing line we have drawn is our imaginary line as such. There is no gap between both continents. There is no water body between both continents. So both continents are kind of connected together. They are making up a single landmass. So practical purposes, we can very well say that rather than two continents, Europe and Asia, we have a single continent that we can call as Eurasia. So that's how we can understand the perspective matter. But the most common and widely adopted method to classify the continents is when we classify the land masses into 7 continents. These continental land masses are Africa, Antarctica, Asia, Australia, Europe, North America, and South America. Now, interestingly, if you have been watching Olympic Games, you would see that on the Olympic Games, 5 rings are used as a symbol. Now, what are these 5 rings? These 5 rings are nothing but they are symbol of gathering of sports people from all over the world. And interestingly, these rings are not 7 because for these purposes, for Olympic purposes, they consider only 5 continental land masses. These are Africa, America, as I told you, because North America, South America are connected. So they consider it to be a single continental landmass. Asia is separate continent, Australia and Europe. So that's why you have only 5 continental landmasses. Antarctica is ignored here. Why? Simply because no one lives on Antarctica. That means permanent inhabitant of Antarctica. There is no permanent inhabitants on Antarctica. On Antarctica, you will only find research stations and bases that is largely populated by scientists from different countries. Now let us look at the diagram on page 36. So if you look at this particular diagram, you can see all the continents are given here. This is not the actual map. This is simply to understand the size of the continent. So if you want to know which continental landmass is largest, you can count the number of squares. Whichever continent has highest number of square, that is largest. So by observation itself, we can say Asia is the largest continental landmass. Second, we can say Africa. Third is North America. Fourth is South America. Fifth is Europe. Sixth is Australia. Sixth is Antarctica. And seventh is Australia. So Australia is the smallest continental landmasses if you count the square. So which one is larger, North America or South America? Answer is North America. Which one is larger, Africa or North America? Africa. Antarctica or Australia? Antarctica. So that's what we can keep in mind here. Now we have certain land masses on the earth which we classify as island. Islands are simply such land masses which are surrounded by water body from all the sides as such, surrounded by ocean from all the sides as such. So some important fact, interesting fact is given here in the NCERTs. First is on the entire earth, Greenland is the largest island. Where is Greenland located? So we have drawn, this is for example is North America. This side you have South America, and here nearby North America, western side, eastern side, you will find this island, that is Greenland. So you would have to add the areas of 10 largest state of India to reach its size. India has more than 1,300 small islands. These small islands are into 2 parts. Andaman Nicobar Island that you have in the Bay of Bengal side, and then you have the Lakshadweep Island that is in the Arabian Sea side. Since 1981, since we have discussed, in the Antarctica there are no permanent inhabitants, only scientists from different countries live. So India also launched Indian Antarctica program, and they have basically we have established a lot of research stations, scientific base station such as Dakshin Gangotri. 2 more bases were established later on, and about 40 teams of Indian scientists have conducted research in this faraway region. Especially the research in Antarctica plays a very important role to understand the evolution of climate and environment of the earth. The settlement where scientists live, that means in Antarctica, they even have a library and even a post office. That means you can send letter to Antarctica theoretically. Now coming to again oceans and life. Are ocean devoid of life? The answer obviously is no. We know that ocean is a vibrant ecosystem. It is full of life. Ocean and continents, we can say, are vital part of environment and affect most aspect of our life even if we do not notice it. For example, Earth's water cycle. Water cycle refers to the loss of water in the form of evaporation. So water converts from liquid to vapor form. Suppose this is the water in the ocean, liquid form. So due to heating, they evaporate, convert into vapor form. These vapor then condense to form clouds, and these clouds then keep moving all across the earth. So when they come over the continental land masses, they can cause rainfall. So basically, in effect, what has happened? There is a transfer of water from the ocean to land. The rain that we're receiving on the ocean, on the continental land masses, it might have originated over the ocean itself. So that's why it plays a very important role in the Earth's water cycle. So in the science also, we'll have to study about it. Now, without ocean, for instance, there would be no rainfall, because as we have seen, 97% of Earth's water is present in the ocean itself, and it is the water that evaporates that brings rain. Earth would be nothing but a desert landscape. It would not be able to support the vibrant life that we see here. Moreover, more than half of world's oxygen is produced by ocean's flora. So now you can understand the other significance of ocean. Can we survive without oxygen? The answer is no. No higher life form, including humans, can survive without oxygen. And where majority of oxygen is being produced, more than half of oxygen is being produced by the flora. Flora, we have discussed before, refers to the plant of the ocean. So algae you have, for example, cyanobacteria you have, for example. And that's why oceans are rightly referred as the planet's lungs. Oceans therefore plays a crucial role in regulating the climate and sustaining life on Earth. And that's how we can understand that the impact of ocean on humanity is tremendous in nature, either in terms of bringing rainfall, either in terms of supplying of oxygen for our survival, for our respiration, or even bringing disasters such as tsunami, cyclones, and other kind of storms and such. Plus, since time immemorial, oceans have been used for a variety of purposes. For example, can you imagine UK would not have been able to rule over such a large parcel of world, including India, if it was not for the navigation in the ocean. So people have carried out and conducted military campaign. People of Japan depends upon fishing. Largely, traditionally, they depend upon fishing from the oceans. They have nourished cultures of people, communities all across the world, plus many at sea gods and goddesses, like we have discussed in India, Varun is also associated with the oceans and such. So they also have a cultural, religious significance to some extent. Now, to understand and to realize the significance of the ocean in our life, United Nations has designated June 8 as World Ocean Day. Now, what is the objective of this World Ocean Day? It is to act as a reminder for us that all the major roles the ocean plays in everyday life, how important it is to us, how and why is it the lung of us, why and how is it the major source of food and medicine. And also we have to be aware about this problem that we have extensively carried out plastic waste discharge in the ocean. We have polluted the ocean to a gigantic extent. Overfishing has become another problem, and that has resulted in decline of marine life. So World Ocean Day is not only just for celebrating, but it also to understand and realize that it's our collective responsibility to protect ocean for the future of the planet and of humanity. Now, before we move on, Earth's surface has a vast water bodies called oceans. We have just discussed large land masses we have, that is called as continents. Oceans are interconnected. We have just seen in the map that Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, none of these oceans are clear cut separated, that water cannot flow from one to other. Water is continuously flowing from one ocean to other as such. Continents may be counted in various ways. It can be 5, it can be 6, but the most common one is how much? 7 continental land masses. About northern hemisphere, it has more land than the southern hemisphere. And oceans also is playing a very important role, as it supports all kind of marine life and play a critical role in the world climate. They are now seriously affected by human activities and need our collective protection. So that's the point. Now, some questions, activities are given. Explain the following term: continent, land masses on the earth; ocean, these are the water bodies, vast water bodies, total 5 on the earth; islands, this is a small piece of land surrounded by water from all the side. Now you can look at the map of world that is given to you, and on the world map then you can classify the ocean. So if you can revise briefly, which ocean is it? You should be able to tell this is the Pacific Ocean. Which ocean is this? You should be able to tell this is the Atlantic Ocean. Which ocean is it? Indian Ocean, because Indian landmass. Which ocean is it? It is again Pacific Ocean, because globe is kind of round. This is what we call as, this is the Southern Ocean or Antarctic Ocean, and around the North Pole you have the fifth one that we call as Arctic Ocean. Now continental land masses: North American landmass, South American continental landmass. This is your Africa. This is this part, we can say this is the Europe. This part including India comes under Asia. Then you have Antarctica. Antarctica is a continent, and Antarctic Ocean also we have discussed, so keep that in mind. Antarctica is the continental landmass, and Antarctic Ocean and Southern Ocean is the term that we use. And the smallest continental landmass, what do we have? The answer is Australia. Right, huh? Now it's clear. So we have 5 oceans and 7 continents on which we can divide entire world into. Now this is exercise that you can practice by yourself. It is a crossword, interesting. So that's what we can understand. So that's all for this particular chapter of NCERT class 6 geography overall social sciences book. So we have concluded the second chapter. Soon we will start the third chapter. Thank you very much.